The NBA is the ultimate big boys club, and athletes are always a bit too hands-on. Have you ever seen an NBA game and wondered, how come none of these people have any rap sheets? Well, we wondered the same thing, and the answer is that yes, they do have a rap sheet, you just don't know about it yet. In this video, we'll list the 10 NBA players you didn't know were criminals. Number 10. Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell was sued along with Gary Payton and Jason Caffey in the suit that is known as the Bucks case. In 2003, Sam Cassell, Gary Payton, and Jason Caffey got into a fight with a couple in a parking lot. Both husband and wife were former strippers and their kids were with them at the time. The couple sued the athletes in 2007 as named plaintiffs and also included Milwaukee Bucks in the lawsuits as the wrongful party. The judge acquitted the case in 2007 in favor of the athletes, but still, it is one of the most famous scandals in the history of the NBA. Number 9. Cliff Robinson. Cliff Robinson was with the Portland Trail Blazers in 2006 when he was arrested for punching a policewoman outside a bar. He was a 23-year-old rookie at the time, and he had to plead guilty to the charges. He was charged with fourth-degree assault and was reported as a misdemeanor. There was also a disorderly conduct charge against him that was dropped by the police, probably because they could not prove that he was drunk. Multnomah County District Judge Nellie Johnson heard the case and gave Robinson year-long probation. He was fined $250. He was also given 50 hours of community service and had to take court-mandated anger management counseling sessions. Number 8. Chris Anderson. Chris the Birdman Anderson was disqualified from playing basketball in 2006 for violating the anti-drug policy of the NBA. At the time, Anderson was playing with the Denver Nuggets and was already deemed a worthy player. Anderson had to stay on the bench for 2 years, and he qualified again for the NBA playoffs and joined the Hornets for a $14 million contract that lasted 4 years. To this day, it's not known whether he was disqualified for steroid use or drug abuse. He was not reported to have taken steroids, so it's presumed that he was taking recreational drugs instead. Anderson was 27 at the time of his arrest and joined the league again when he turned 29. Number 7. Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo "Melo" Anthony needs no introduction as the bad boy for the NBA. Barack Obama was under severe criticism for fundraising with Anthony, as Anthony has a strong identity of being anti-police and pro-drugs. Even till 2006, Melo was picked up for marijuana possession twice. One time his backpack was searched and marijuana was recovered by the airport security. The next time, Melo's childhood friend was arrested for 3 traffic violations and a drug was found in the car. The car, a 2005 Dodge Magnum, belonged to Anthony's company, and there were 2 other passengers in the car at the time of the arrest. But in later years, Melo became an icon for legalizing marijuana, and he also stood behind Black Lives Matter as a valid cause. His open and persistent political stance further painted him as an anti-police and pro-drug person. Number 6. Portland Jail Blazers. Portland Jail Blazers is not a person but an entire team that has been arrested one time or another. If we went through the team player by player, we would have to make another video. But if we ignored the Jail Blazers altogether, then we wouldn't be doing our job too well. All of the players on the team have been arrested at one point or another for smoking pot, and a few famous cases were Kentel Dion Woods, Darius G., Isaiah Ryder, Damon Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace, and, well, a whole lot more. This team's track record normalized the culture of conviction in athletes of the NBA. Number 5. Charles Barkley. In 1997, Charles Barkley was arrested for getting into a bar fight, as expected. The story made great waves as it was intense and the media fully covered it. The star Barkley threw his victim through a glass window while he was at a bar in Orlando. It's reported that the victim enticed Barkley by throwing a bucket of ice on him. Barkley picked up the victim and crashed him through the window pane. The victim, Jorge Lugo, was 20 years old and got a minor laceration on his upper arm. Barkley was jailed for 5 hours and was released on a $6,000 bond. Barkley never apologized for the incident, and instead he stated that he would not put up with bad behavior, and he's made it clear in his tenure with the NBA. Number 4. Ruben Patterson. Ruben Patterson was registered as a sex offender in 2001 when he was playing with the Seattle Supersonics. Patterson was a trailblazer in those days, and he was accused of forcing his child's babysitter to have sex with him. He was the first NBA player to ever register as a sex offender at the time. He was given a 15-day jail sentence, and the King County Superior Court Judge Brian Gain ordered him to register as a sex offender in Washington or leave the city. Patterson was also given a 15 days jail sentence that he completed. It should be noted that he was twice arrested for domestic abuse and has an assault charge against him in Cleveland. Number 3. Ron Artest. In 2007, the Sacramento Kings forward Ron Artest was arrested on domestic violence charges. A woman accused him of shoving her on the floor and keeping her from calling the police. At that time, he was excused from his team for a month. The county police were called as the argument was taken outside and domestic disturbance was reported by the neighbors. The woman threw a pot at Artest's Hummer and broke its windshield. The incident occurred when a 3-year-old girl was in the house with them. He was also accused of locking up his wife. Another famous incident was when he got into a brawl with his fan on the stands and assaulted him. He was banned from the NBA for a year for that offense. Number 2. Chris Webber. Chris Webber was another Sacramento Kings All-Star forward in 2007 who pleaded to criminal contempt in federal court because he assaulted police officers. He was driving in erratic behavior on the road, and when police officers pulled him over, he refused to take any test. Cops also found weed in his car, and he was convicted of driving under the influence. The ASA on the case was Richard Convertino, who has claimed that the office did not intend to send Webber to jail. They were interested in imposing a hefty fine of $1 million. He was also convicted of contempt because during the trial, he lied to the jury about accepting illegal payment and Michigan University. For the contempt charge, he was given 300 hours of community service that he was asked to complete. These were sad sights for his fans who were distraught by how regularly his life seemed to fall apart on a public platform. The case got intense media coverage till the end. Number 1. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a memorable player as he played for Michigan in the 2000s. He was a 76er and a well-regarded athlete, but he was also ordered to pay a $100,000 fine for the Michigan booster scandal. The case was ongoing for 2 years, and it was a hot topic of debate in those days. U.S. District Judge Nancy Edmonds gave Rodman the highest possible fine, even though she gave him a misdemeanor and not a felony charge. Rodman was also given 330 hours of community service, and he had to do community service for 2 years. Once his 2-year community service was completed, the judge considered his case as a misdemeanor and not a felony. Rodman was also infamous for attempted suicide. He used to have a vibrant personality back in the day. These days he's going from one rehab to another and was also convicted for spousal battery after his retirement. Rodman seems to have genuinely struggled with sustaining balance in his life experience. These are a few of the many cases that we reviewed while making this video. It's safe to say that NBA players struggle with violence and substance issue challenges. As marijuana has been legalized, it should reduce the conviction rate in the NBA. Marijuana-related charges are the most common in these hallowed halls. But on a serious note, the world is changing fast, and the quality of life for these athletes needs to be improved. Most of these individuals are not properly educated, and many of them struggle with balancing their fame with their public duty. Most importantly, young children who tend to idolize these athletes as role models will gain a terrible example of these kinds of cases that are not controlled. Assault and battery charges and domestic violence are a sad sight to see in individuals who are expected to be role models. And that's a wrap on 10 NBA players you didn't know were criminals. What do you think about the relevant question to the video? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.